folks, and welcome to another video. In this one we're going to be looking at digital ID and basically going over why it's a waste of time in the UK and why we should be fighting it. So Keir Starmer has said on Friday that he will basically forcibly introduce the digital ID onto us in the UK, wherein we will have to have it if we want to work. Now, obviously, there's questions about if you're already in work, will you still need it? Because presumably ID checks and stuff have been done on you before getting that job. So will it only be for new jobs, or will you now have to retroactively get this awful thing in order to prove that you can still work in your job, I guess? So he says it will cut illegal immigration. So not sure how it cuts illegal immigration, because the people who are entering the country illegally in these small boats are also working illegally. They're already bypassing all of the legal things they should be doing. So a company that's going to illegally hire these people isn't going to suddenly say, oh no, now we need digital ID. They will just continue to illegally hire them. And of course, the best way to stop something is just to actually stop it. So when people try and enter the UK, intercept the boats, turn them around, and that's the end of that. But of course, this is part of a wider plan in the world to try and get us all under a social credit system. That's what this really is. This is the start of the social credit system. They tried this with COVID. They put in the COVID pass, and anyone with a brain laughed at it, and they wasted a lot of money on it, and it amounted to nothing. So now they want to make it mandatory to work, because virtually everyone works unless you're really lazy, or maybe if you're disabled, but everyone works, so they know you're going to need this. So what else do they say? I mean, they haven't even worked out the details for Northern Ireland yet. There we go. Well, that's all they're saying on that one. What are they saying on this one? Apparently, it's okay. You won't have to carry them day to day. That's fine. And as we know, the government never ever step back on anything. So if they've said you won't have to carry them, then I guess we can trust them. And that will, prevent illegal immigration, won't it? It's like saying, instead of putting up a gate to stop someone breaking into a house, you'll give them a passport, a digital ID that they'll need to walk into your house. You could put a gate there or door, and that will stop them. But instead, you're going to give them an ID system that they're just going to ignore anyway, and still come in and work illegally. But we, as legal citizens of the UK, born and bred here, we have to prove we can work. So that makes sense. Let's see, compulsory for anyone seeking employment in the UK. It's as simple as that. Very strong words from a tiny little waste of space little man. Probably the worst Prime Minister we've ever had in the UK. Just an absolute embarrassment. Trump absolutely walked all over him. He's a useless little man, this guy. And that's okay, because we carry apps on our phone, so we should have this as well. So they want to get it launched before 2029, probably because they know they will get absolutely annihilated at the polls and they won't get in again. Oh, and of course, people can use it voluntarily. Who on earth would ever want to use this at all, let alone voluntarily? You'd have to be some kind of moron. So include residency status, name, date of birth, nationality, and a photograph. So I'm guessing they want the illegal immigrants to get this app that will then say, oh, you're not allowed to work. And I guess they'll just won't work then, or they'll go to a business that's sympathetic to them or owned by their mates, and they will work without the digital ID and be paid with cash. So waste of time. There we go. But it'd be good because you won't have to do paper-based checks anymore when you're going to move house or something. So that's good. That's worth all the money being spent. So designed to curb illegal immigration by making it harder for people without legal status to find jobs. And it'll also reduce fraud in the shadow economy. No, it won't, because someone could still find a way around this rubbish quite easily. And of course, the other thing that we haven't actually looked at is, what if this gets hacked and suddenly it's got all your details ready to come straight out to everyone? That seems like a really, really smart idea. The system will be inclusive though. Okay. face-to-face support for people without smartphones and passports. Doesn't really tell you anything what they're going to do there. And if there is alternatives, can you just say I don't have a smartphone then? And in which case you wouldn't need it? Or say I don't have reliable internet access? I mean, I know loads of people without passports because they don't travel, so their passports are expired. So already, there's probably going to be ways around this, like there's ways around the stupid digital Online Safety Act rubbish. Anyone with a brain can bypass that rubbish straight away. Okay, so this is best practices from Estonia as one of the countries, Denmark and India. Wow, okay, countries known for high levels of human rights and whatnot. Let's see, so they access medical records, that's good. Have that all stored on there with your voting stuff, with your banking, and your digital signature. Have that all in one place because nothing can happen there, so that'll be good. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so what we're saying is other countries, which includes countries like Singapore, very successful, but they are somewhat of a dictatorship, even if the people do live a very decent quality of life there. France, pretty much a failed economy at this point. Sorry, not France, Greece. Who cares about that? The UAE, human rights abuses up the wazoo. Same with China. Costa Rica, fine. South Korea, didn't they recently have an attempted military coup? And they've included Afghanistan as learning from best practice from Afghanistan and China and the UAE. This is an embarrassment. This is so poor. This government is an embarrassment to the UK. Truly awful. And we need to resist this at every turn and every opportunity, using every legal method we possibly can. I mean, Tony Blair is in favour of this. The man is well, let's say he led us into a war that we shouldn't have been in, and I'll just say that, So, obviously, civil rights groups have raised concerns over privacy and whatnot, and rightly so, because this is disgusting abuse of government overreach and needs to stop. And, I mean, even the Conservatives and Liberal Democrats are saying it will have very limited impact on legal immigration. Basically none, because it's illegal immigration. These people come here illegally. They don't seek to work legally. So this will be a waste of time. And anyone who thinks differently on that must have some sort of issue with their cognition. And eventually it will simplify access to driving licenses, which you already have. Don't know how it will simplify access to childcare, welfare, tax records. That's all already digital anyway. While making government processes more efficient and reducing fraud. Also, I'll tell you what else it would be really good for. It would be really good for getting a social credit system in place, because once they have all of this information in one little place on one app, they can then start saying things like, we're thinking you might get more welfare if you turn off your electrics after, say, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. Just turn off everything and go to bed, because it's good for the environment. You can get more welfare. Or, if you don't do it, you get less welfare. Oh, and we'll monitor your driving license and whatnot, see how many miles you drive. You'll have to enable. You must enable tracking in the app, and then good thing is if you drive very few miles, we won't charge you very much. But if you drive a lot, you're going to be punished. Also, if you decide to say anything negative about the government, you'll be punished. Or because you require this stupid evil app in order to work, they can just take your job away from you. So we'll become a lot more like China then, where people spy on each other and watch each other and see, oh, this person crossed the road at the wrong place, so they'll lose points off their social credit score. Let's have a look at China's social credit system and see how that works. So here we have China's social credit system. Now, this will be the model, as I've already said, best practice used in China and whatnot. This will be the model they'll use. So, what's the aim? The system intends to monitor, rate and regulate the financial, social, moral and possibly, but definitely, political behaviour of China's citizens. So there we go. System of punishments and rewards based on how you behave. And let's face it, they're not going to care much about this other stuff. They're going to care about political stuff. So you post something on Facebook they don't like and suddenly you can't work anymore. How does it work? Well, they're given a social credit score that will increase based on what the government considers socially acceptable. So I guess, they already want your internet history, don't they? That's the whole reason they want you to do your face scanning and that online, is so that they can get your internet history, and then they can give you a social credit score. And if you're a good little boy or good little girl who does exactly as you're told, maybe you'll be all right. Here we go. So, what can help you? Committing a heroic act, cheating in online games, participating in anything deemed to be a cult. Well, of course, that could be anything, couldn't it? They can decide what's a cult. Insincere apologies for crimes committed. Having a good financial history, helping the poor. So spreading rumours on the internet. Well, of course, that'd be anything the government don't like, won't it? But if you say good things, oh, guess what? Your social credit score goes up. Donating blood. So now, in order to get a good social credit score, you have to undergo a medical procedure. That seems reasonable. Positively influencing one's neighbourhood. Not visiting aging parents regularly. Well, actually, I agree with that one. You're a bit of a knobhead if you don't do that. And you're a bit of a knobhead if you don't help out look after your family members as well. Illegally protesting against the authorities. Well, that could be anything, couldn't it, really? Traffic offences such as drunk driving or jaywalking. Obviously, drunk driving's awful, but jaywalking, really, who cares? And the maximum you can reach is 1,300 points, I guess, unless you're in the government, maybe. So there we go. So high scores can lead to priority for, here we go, school and employment. So if you don't do as you're told, you can't get a good job and you can't get loans. Who cares about deposits, free bicycle and car hire? Free gym facilities, who cares? Cheaper public transport. So if you don't do as you're told by the government, suddenly it costs you more to get to work, if you can even work, or to get into hospital. In fact, if you do as you're told, you might even get a fast-track promotion at work based purely on what you say politically. So what you say politically will get you a lot of benefits, apparently. So let's see if you're bad. What do you get? Denial of licenses, permits, and access to some social services. So essentially, they take your work away from you. You can't go on flights or high-speed trains. Less access to credit, fair enough, whatever. Restricted access to public ineligibility for government jobs. Public shaming. I've seen this, actually. This does exist in China. Yeah, this is evil, evil stuff. And it's nothing to do with goodness or trying to encourage a better society. This is nothing more than control. And this is what the government want over you, control. And if you allow this with the Digital ID and the Online Safety Act, all that rubbish, you will end up like in a situation where you are in China. For example, I don't condone cheating on people. I think that's an awful thing to do, but it's not a crime. But in China, it is. You will be punished with your social credit score for cheating on someone. You'll be punished for jaywalking. You'll be punished for saying something against the government. You'll be punished for example, not being able to pay down your debt. Maybe you've become ill and you struggle with your debt. You'll be punished for that. So then it will be harder to even get credit then. Do you see how, unless you live what the government identifies as the perfect life, you will be punished severely for that. You're losing work, losing access to facilities. And people might say, wow, that's in China, that'll never come here. But we never thought in the UK a government would be pushing for a digital ID system and to monitor your internet usage, did we? And yet here we are. We do it with a bit of a smile on their face, so it's okay. People think, oh, it's a British accent, so it's polite, that's okay. But it's not. It's still just as evil. And see, they mandate here engaging in charity work. What if you've worked 45 hours a week and you don't want to engage in charity work? Well, you can't get to the 1,300 points then, can you? Because you need to give up more of your time. It's an evil thing, and it needs to be resisted at every single turn. I don't have high hopes for the average population because they all very willingly, or a lot of them very willingly, took the let's call them jibby jabbies, and unnecessary. People are still getting ill today. It didn't help anyone. Waste of time. But people did that, and I'm worried people will do this willingly. Well, once you lose your freedoms and you wonder, how did we get to this point? It all comes back to you. Sign the petition as well. This petition's got over 2 million signatures on it. So this awful man here will hopefully rescind it. But he won't, because we don't live in a free country. We live in a dictatorship where, despite 2 million people saying we don't want digital IDs, this is a bad thing. And I'm sure if more the elderly and whatnot were online, they'd say the same thing. But unfortunately, we live in a dictatorship, and this awful man here will ignore this. But we need to resist it by just not using the app. Do not use it. Do not use anything the government try and provide you. They are not here to help you or protect you. They are here to take your freedom away. This is what people need to understand. So I hope you all resist as much as you can. And, we must fight this. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to leave me a comment, like this video, subscribe to my channel, share this on your socials, and of course, check out my Patreon. Fight the good fight, people, and never give in. I'll see you in the next video.